So this past weekend we had family day, and recently my grandmother, her and my older sister, they both relocated to the Charlotte, North Carolina area after living in Texas. My grandmother was in Texas for 19, almost 20 years, and my sister, she has been in Texas for probably about for a long time, probably the last 9 or 10 years. And so recently they both relocated to the Charlotte area, and since they're both here, every 2 weeks we decide to have family day. Normally family day consists of my mom cooking. We each week choose what we want my mom to cook, and she cooks sometimes, and we rotate from houses and we enjoy each other. So this past Saturday we had family day, and first, we started off going to my daughter's cheer game. That was her first football game that she cheered for this Saturday. So the whole family came out down here in the hot North Carolina heat. And, we started with that. Then it was my house this weekend. So we came and gathered at my house. And my mom cooked, the kids played. Everybody was just relaxing, hanging out, enjoying the nice Saturday. And so I was making lunch, making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for the kids. And my son, Mikhail, he goes and says, my mom make the best peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. So I come in, I sit down, talk to my grandma, and I'm telling her, my mom said everybody need to get a son like Mikhail, because one thing he gonna do is he is going to make me feel good. Like, if I can make a cup of water, and it's gonna be the best cup of water that Mikhail has ever drank. And so I was, telling my grandmother that everybody needs to get a son like Mikhail. And so she's been here since July. So it's been almost 2 months since she's been here. And we've been getting the honor to spend a lot of more time with her. And so as I sit down next to her and I'm telling her that story, she goes and says how proud she is of me for how I'm raising Mikhail. And she just went on and just saying how, he is a great young boy, and anytime my mom asks him for help, he is always jumping up to help with no problems. And as she just was going on and on about how she's proud of me for raising Mikhail, I began to cry. Because in my mind, I instantly went back to August of 2014. And at that time, Mikhail had just turned 2 in June. And I was so lost and so broken. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know who I was, what I should be doing with him, where we should be going. I just didn't know. And so as a result of that, I left Rochester, New York, and went to Texas with my grandmother. And obviously I'm in a tough place if I'm sleeping on somebody's couch. But I wasn't able to really verbalize what I was going through at that time with any of my family. Like, I wasn't able to talk. I was, not about what I was going through. I can talk and act like everything was okay, even though clearly I was in distress. But I can talk about everything else, but I couldn't talk about the place that I was in. I couldn't talk about how hurt I was feeling, how lost I was feeling, how alone I was feeling. No matter how many people I had around me, I just still felt very alone. And I just couldn't talk about it. I just couldn't. And I was in a dark place. I didn't know what was going on. I was suicidal. I was battling every day if I should be here, because here I was with this son, and I don't have a place for us to live. I don't have a job. I'm just lost. This all came after the relationship between me and his dad didn't work out. I had to make a really tough decision to walk away from a relationship that I knew was not healthy for me or for my son. And it was hard because I knew before leaving that if I left, my son wasn't going to have the relationship that I desired for him to have with his dad. And I feared that, and I was scared to leave, even though I know it wasn't healthy. It wasn't healthy for me mentally and emotionally. And so if I'm not well mentally and emotionally, then there's no way that I could properly raise my son to be well. And so I had to make that decision, and I left. For me, I was running. I didn't know necessarily what I was running from, but I was most definitely running. And I realize now, it was from my reality. It was from the reality that I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea who I was or what I should be doing. And so I was in Texas for the summer of August 2014 with my grandmother, and I was broken. I was so hurt. And so when my grandmother sat on the couch and was saying to me how, you know, she's just proud of how I'm raising my son, it just brought me to tears, because I remember not knowing what to do with him, you know, being honest. I knew that I loved him. That was all that I knew. All that I knew was that I loved him, but I did not know what to do with my son. And so I didn't know how to raise him. I didn't know if I could raise him. I had to raise him and love him in a way where he is ready to go into the world and fight, but have a safe place at home. So that journey of me just knowing that I loved him so much started, but way before he even was physically born into the world, because I just knew that I wanted to be the best version of myself for him. And so, you know, fast forward, he's 2, and I'm in this place of breakdown where I just realized I didn't have the tools and the resources to properly raise him. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have the tools and the resources to give him the life that he deserved. And truthfully, I didn't even completely know what that life was. I just knew, again, that I loved him. And so it was a battle during that time, leaving Rochester and going to Texas. And the reality is that, you know, I'm out here just trying to figure out life on my own. I was at the bottom. And the only thing during that time that saved me was love. You know, God knew exactly what I needed in Mikhail. And in those moments where I would have suicidal thoughts and, you know, battle and question whether or not my life was valuable and if it was worth living, Mikhail was there. You know, I call him my son, my sunshine. And when he was a baby, during this time when we was in Texas, I would sing with him, "You Are My Sunshine," and we would always do the Will Smith version.
Now here we go. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy. When goes on.
You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You never know, dear, how much I love you. So please don't take my sunshine away. You are my sunshine.
Happy.
When skies are gray. You never know, Kai, how much I love you. So please don't take my sunshine away. You know, it was just his love for me and the love that I knew I had because he came for me that kept me going. And to hear my grandmother just be proud of that, and for me to stay in that place of remembrance, of remembering how low I was and how dark I was and how I felt like I could never get out of that place, and to where I am now, happy and peaceful, knowing that God loves me. I'm in the place where I know my life's purpose is to just be a reflection of God's love to my children, to my family, to people who I know, people who I don't know. And so I'm just coming on to start this movement, Black Moms Heal, because when we heal, we can change the world. Our love, when we heal, can change the world. I have decided to be a manifestation of that love and to live out my dreams and to do so with love and with grace, and being infectious to all the people who feel like they're in a dark place, feel like they can't see past tomorrow. I just want to come and be love and to be light and to send encouragement and to be living proof that you can and you will make it through your depressive states. You will not always be in a dark place. I remember feeling like there was no light at the end of the tunnel, and then God gave me my son. You know, he showed me that through this beautiful journey of motherhood, we can evolve, we can reach our fullest potential. And even if you're not a mom, we can just show love, show light, everywhere that we go in the world. So I've come to a realization. I started the movement Black Moms Heal because I understand and know that healing is powerful. When we make the decision to face those battles and those truths that we don't want to talk about, then that's where the real healing comes from. I've been through a lot of different things in my life that I've had to heal from, that I just wasn't expecting. And God came and he gave me these children, Mikhail and Corey, and he completely changed my world through being able to see life differently through the lens of the responsibility of having children, the responsibility of being responsible for someone else's life. Through the responsibility of being a mother and bringing life into the world, my eyes have been opened in a brand new way, where I understand that healing is powerful, love is powerful, love fixes things, love changes things, love repair things. The journey of motherhood for me has been full of love. There's been hard times, there has been depressing times from the very beginning. You know, I've been through a lot with being and becoming a mom, a lot of things that I just didn't expect, that I wasn't prepared for. I'll be honest, I got both of my kids, they have two different dads, and both of my pregnancies, I was abandoned by their dads. After I, found out that I was pregnant, I was abandoned, to raise my kids, to go through pregnancy by myself. And it's been tough emotionally, mentally, the different things and thoughts that go through your head, the battles that you have to fight to show up. It's tough. And for me personally, for my journey, the people who I had children with weren't random people. It was people who I loved and who I believed loved me. And when it got real, when life got real and children were brought into the world, I was left to do it alone. And I wouldn't trade it for nothing. I didn't plan or prefer for my children to grow up in a single mother house, because that's how I grew up. And I know the stress and the burden of taking care of children by yourself, that's not what I wanted for my children. But here we are. And here we are, and here we are happy, and here we are thankful, and here we are grateful, and here we are loving each other. My children, they are awesome. They are full of love. I wouldn't trade our journeys for anything in the world. We know, and I know, and I'm teaching my children that if God brung us to this place, then he'll bring us through the place. And so that's just my message. At one point, I couldn't see past my depressive state, that dark hole that I was living in. And now I'm in a place of manifesting my dreams. My life journey is not to just show my kids love and show my kids how they can conquer through love, but to come in and show and share that love with everyone else. Everywhere we go, we can be loved and we can make a difference in the world. So I'm starting the movement Black Moms Heal, which is a community of women of color supporting each other, loving each other, just being able to see each other, knowing that we all go through hardships, we all go through different experiences in life. I'm not here to judge you. I am here to love you and to support you along your journey. And I just ask that we learn to do the same to each other, to be love and to be light amongst everywhere we go. And especially us as women and as Black women, we need to come together in community to love and to learn how to be a rainbow in somebody's cloud. I've been listening to Maya Angelou, and that was her message, is to be a rainbow in somebody's cloud. Because what we know for sure, there's going to be clouds. Just as the sun shines and the moon shines at night and the sun is up in the day, we're going to have clouds as well. And sometimes those clouds may not be bright, it may not be sunny. And so we have to learn to be a rainbow, just to remind people of God's promise of love. Thank you.
When it looked like the sun wasn't gonna shine anymore, God put a rainbow in the clouds. Imagine.